have just entered the KBMOD podcast. Keyboard plus mouse or die.
Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to the KBMOD podcast, episode 15. Hopefully you heard 14. We've been having continued technical issues with Podbean because it's probably the worst website ever made. It's horrible. I can't even get to it right now. And for some reason, it looks like episodes 13 and 14. They're on the site. They're uploaded to the site, but I can't get to them right now. So I have a ticket in with them trying to figure this out, but still haven't heard anything. So in the meantime, hopefully you're able to use that MediaFire link that we provided. I think Bob updated the post.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so a lot of you might have had to just download it direct from MediaFire. So apologies for that. But we'll make sure I can't promise that no problems will happen this week, but hopefully everything will be fixed by the time this is uploaded. So, got the usual crew with me today. We got Dan, we got John, Hello. We got Brandon. Brandon at home tonight, which is sweet.
Yeah. Hopefully I won't drop during the call this time.
No robot phone, which would be awesome. No. So what have you all been? What's been? I don't think I've asked what the gaming question of we used to recap what we were doing this week as far as gaming, but I don't think last week we did. Did we?
It's a good question recently too, because we've been between big titles for so long now.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually hopped back on the WoW this week for the first time in a while because I wasn't able to do the long gaming sessions, really. But also been playing Left 4 Dead 2 nights in a row. A lot of fun with that, with the co-op.
Oh, yeah, I saw you streaming that the other night, too, as well.
And tonight I was playing some Ultra IW, some Modern Warfare 2. Because
getting ready for the next Ultra IW.
Getting ready for the next Ultra IW to come up.
Yeah, we'll definitely be touching on that. What about you, John? What have you been up to?
COD 4. It's always just COD 4.
1 week it wasn't though. 1 week it was Counter-Strike.
I've been playing a fair bit of WoW. I played Counter-Strike during the stream.
Oh yeah, that's what it was. Okay.
John admitted he wanted to finish out his Storm Rage set for his Druid.
Yeah, so I got to play a good bit of WoW. Nice. So now I'm trying to figure out, was there a driver update or something for Battlefield 3 today?
There was from NVIDIA.
Okay, yeah, that would explain why AMD cards run like complete shit-ass dick.
Oh,
Love
man.
those. I miss those Catalyst drivers so much.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I haven't really been playing a whole lot because I built my new PC this weekend, so that's what most of this weekend was, messing with that and then trying to get all my programs set back up and stuff.
Yeah, you did a live stream of that too. I watched it for as long as I could, Brandon, and then after you were applying the thermal paste on your Hyper 212 for 10 hours, I had to click away until you finished that part, and then I watched the rest of the build. But
hey, I told people at the beginning that it may not be like the most interesting stream I've ever watched.
I was joking.
I was thinking about not doing it because I was like, really? I wouldn't watch someone build a computer.
Well, see, Brandon, there's levels of building a computer. You have to be like one of the most I just know from your personality, you're very precise and everything. So that showed in your build.
I wanted to tell people, when you buy $2,000 worth of computer parts, you're welcome to put it together as fast as you want to. But
like me, where I just throw it. Well, I didn't buy 2,000, but my cabling is pretty pristine in my case. I've never seen it. John can attest to that.
It's a follower of KBMOD, Zaxy. I don't know if you're Zachy. I forget how his Twitter handle actually goes, but we'll call him Zach. He put his Hyper 212 as being held on by 3 prongs, not 4. And it's running. I don't know how, but it is.
Running better than Scott's is. So.
Hey, listen, stock cooling, baby. Way to go. Still can overclock with good temps. But actually, Brandon, I had a lot of joy inside when you were struggling for a little bit with the 212, with the clips and everything.
I forgot that I had to actually do it with the motherboard out, which is a rookie mistake, especially considering I already had a 932 case before, so I should have remembered from the last time. But every new build, you always run into little things that you forget, and you have to go back and do things in a different order.
You weren't watching the chat because you were building it, but as you were like struggling with that part a little bit, I was just typing in all caps. I was like, "See, it's not as easy as you think, Brandon. You don't remember this." So anyway, but you got it done.
Well, hopefully people had a good time and maybe learned something, or at least just had fun trolling me.
The trolling was fun. Yeah, no, it was good. It was good all around. I've been playing much. I tweeted this out. I really haven't been gaming all that much, especially. I've been playing some single player stuff. Like I started Metro 2033, which I've had for a while, and I just installed it. And I know Alex talked about this game, or Private Joker talked about this game a lot. When he was playing it, he was going to do a playthrough. I don't think he ever did, but my God, dude, that game is amazing looking, gorgeous. One of the best looking games I've ever played, and like overall, just the story, the production value, and everything in it. It's so unique and so well done. I know a lot of people talked about it being like a gem that no one played kind of deal, and it really is. I don't know how much it is now. I think you said you have it, Brandon.
Yeah, I picked it up a few weeks ago when it was on sale. $5.
That's what it was. You cannot. I guess it's not $5 anymore. If you didn't pick it up then, you were insane. Cause
probably only like 20.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I can't recommend it enough. I'm about 3 or 4 hours in, and oh God, it's awesome.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that, especially since I know it's pretty nice graphically. So
yeah, it really is.
If the game's actually good, all the better.
Yeah,
I couldn't get over how good it is. It reminds me of I don't really kind of like what is it? What is that Russian developer? God, what game is it? Big open world.
Shit.
God, I can't remember what it's called. A couple years ago though, remember? Stalker. Like a little bit like Stalker because it's Russian developer. It's got a Russian influence to it, big time. But it's a little more linear than Stalker. Like it's not as open world, but there's a lot you can do.
Does your head bob and make me vomit with Stalker?
No, the head bob isn't too bad. No. But there's so many cool like little things. Like when you're outside, you have to wear a gas mask and you have like a flashlight that you have to recharge. Ammo's like really scarce. It's a post-apocalyptic thing, just like Stalker is.
Nice.
But anyway, yeah, I'll stop raving about it. But yeah, it's really good. So, yeah, that's been what. Oh, and I did stream some Max Payne 2 for a little while on this.
And it was
weekend.
awesome.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
What a game!
That game has aged pretty well, actually.
It has.
Man.
Such a good game.
Yeah. So I remember playing through, like at the very beginning of Max Payne 2 when you first shoot that guy. And he falls back into like the paint cans and the for the very first time in bullet time. I played that part. I think I had a demo of that game before on console or whatever before it was fully released. I think I played that one part where you shoot that guy and try to shoot him like 100 different angles to watch that slow-mo physics effect where he falls back into the wood and to the paint cans. Like it just brings back the memories, dude. It's so good.
I actually have really fond memories of that game specifically. Yeah. Like I remember my sister was having a birthday party, and I was upstairs. It was like a Friday night, and I played through all of Max Payne in one night while they were having her birthday party. I don't know why I remember that, but I just remember I was so engrossed that I played through the whole game in one night.
Yeah, Bob
It was a fantastic game.
Yeah.
Dude, Bob used to play it when I didn't have a good PC at all. I would go over to Bob's because he had a good PC, and he had Max Payne and he had Tribes, and I would watch him play Max Payne. Like, I wouldn't play, but I would watch him play, and I was like, oh my God, it's bullet time every single time it happened.
Like, I remember Max Payne 2. I mean, Max Payne, the original, was a good-looking game for its time, but Max Payne 2 was, like, one of the first times I'd ever actually played a game that used, I think it uses the Havoc's physics engine, I think, in that game. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure it's that engine, and, like, it was such a step up, like, and, like, it was so mind-blowing to me at the time that, like, I think that's why it stands out for me. Like, Brandon, you have a memory of playing, I just have a memory of just trying to manipulate the physics over and over. Like, I didn't care if I died. Like, while I was in the stream, I was jumping off a building trying to blow myself up with a grenade, because that's what I used to do all the time to see how cool it looked. So, God, what a title. What a title.
Yeah, dude.
I guess now we got Battlefield 3 that we just played slightly a little bit before the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I need to buy NVIDIA cards. Or
is that going to be your next big purchase?
I'm going to acquire some.
I wish NVIDIA cards works with 3 monitors. That'd be awesome.
Just get a GT220. Uses a third card to run it.
I thought about that, actually.
That'll be the irony that
it just unlocked, by the way.
runs
It should have unlocked on the East Coast now.
Well, it unlocked with my Korean proxy, so.
Well, yes, that did happen.
Sweet. Well, let's get into the news a little bit.
We now interrupt your scheduled programming to bring you an urgent broadcast from the front lines of America.
This week, Dan, because there was a whirlwind of BlizzCon news.
Well, actually, let me go over Friday a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Because I was at work and it was pretty slow at work Friday, and also I just can't do very much at work right now. And then I forgot it was BlizzCon completely, and I just checked my reader and in the morning, and Kotaku was having their live chat over the WoW panel and stuff, and I was like, wait, what the hell? So then I ended up actually getting that BlizzCon news post together in real time with all the
chat going on and everything.
Yeah, with the chat going on and everything. So we managed to tweet out a whole bunch of information, and if you followed us on Friday, you got a treat because you got Blizzard information right when it happened. So it was one of the first things we've done really in real time. So it was fun to do for me, as I really felt like a media person on Friday.
Breaking that news.
Yeah, it was really fun. Nice. But we got a ton of stuff, and first of all, we're going to lead with the big boy here. Mists of Pandaria, the new WoW expansion, looks like it's going to make over the game even more than Cataclysm did, which is a lot. So Cataclysm was basically could have been WoW too, but this looks like it's going to turn the talent system into a more Diablo style one, where there's not going to be three. Those of you who play WoW will know what I'm talking about. You guys have all played WoW, but there's 3 specs for each class. 3 talent trees right now. There's only going to be 1 when after this, and you're going to pick skills that you have. You're going to kind of pick a spec at level 10, and then you'll get a talent every 15 levels. So whether or not that's a core skill or what that actually means, I'm not sure. I didn't look into. They had them all posted on MMO Champion as far as what the tiers are like and how it's going to work. I thought it was a pretty unnecessary change myself. I didn't think it was very hard to. Really.
Yeah, that seems like a huge change, because if you look back at vanilla, that was just crazy time where you did have cookie cutter builds,
right?
And you really didn't deviate from those at all.
And you had a lot of throwaway talents, which they got rid of.
Yeah, exactly. And they made it better over time, and I feel like now the current system is pretty simple already.
Yeah, no, in Cataclysm, I know, Scott, you quit before it came along, so you had the somewhat more complicated ones from Wrath, but in Cataclysm they cut those down even further, and basically every talent is pretty self-explanatory. So if you look at it, you're going to be like, oh, okay, that is useful, or oh, okay, that's for PvP. It's not. It's pretty black and white now.
Yeah, and there's really no filler talents now. It's just some are going to be PvE oriented, some are going to be PvP oriented, but they're all pretty useful.
You can't fuck it up early on either right now, because you have to have 31 points in a tree before you can put points in another tree. So you can't do some fucked up 10-10-10 build.
Yeah, I feel like this feels like it's making it even more easy mode.
They're dumbing it down even more.
I don't know if you guys saw my Diablo video or know how the talents work there, but basically you unlock them as levels go by, and then you have 3 slots for them, eventually 6 slots in D3, and you can change those skills out at any time. And they're saying it's going to be closer to that. You won't be able to do it mid-combat like you can in Diablo 3, but
see, that's the one thing I just don't know if I like.
Yeah, I don't like it at all. I thought Cataclysm talent trees, we were just talking while you were in the B room. I just don't understand that change particularly. The talent trees aren't hard.
The only thing I can think is that I feel like this is something they're kind of doing to change for change's sake, because they know that something this sweeping will bring a lot of people back for at least a month.
Yep.
I have an alternate theory on this. I think it's a tribute to Steve Jobs. Because you know how Steve Jobs dumbed down everything and locked down everything? I think that this is Blizzard's way of nodding and being like, all right, we're going to make this real easy for you. You can't fuck it up, but you also can't customize it like you used to be able to. All right, I'm sorry, it was uncalled for.
I have a third.
You have a third theory? Okay.
Yeah, and this came in a Twitter question, and I forget who I was talking about. this with. I think it was our buddy Mr. Darby O'Thrill, but he and I both agreed on this, is that we both think what they're doing right now is anything they're changing in WoW, they're just testing out shit for Titan.
Yeah, that makes sense, yeah.
Because Titan's going to be an MMO.
Right.
We know that. And if it's going to be what's been rumored is that it's going to be like a steampunk kind of FPS, MMO FPS. So that would make sense more than talent trees for that type of thing. And I feel like they're saying, well, we have this formula with WoW that works really well right now, and let's see what happens when we throw this in or we throw that in.
That would make sense, yeah.
The rest of the expansion doesn't really change too much. There are some really good leveling changes. They're revamping all the lower level dungeons, but they're doing like they're going to call like PvE scenarios. And basically, you guys have all level characters. You know, you get in a quest chain, right? And you have to go back to the guy like 47 times or, you know, that kind of thing. Or you kill like, you know, maybe you kill 20 kobolds and then you have to find an item and then you have to kill the special kobold at the end of the cave, you know, that kind of thing.
Right. And then you have a high-level character killing it over and over again just to mess with you so that you can complete the quest. My experiences, yeah. And then the dude pile has to come in and wreak havoc and kill
that dude for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Corpse camping's a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Especially Brittany calls you in, triumphantly save her. But what those will be now are like little mini instances, and those are going to replace and pretty much group quests were dead anyway, for the most part, because, you know, people are all max level, so everything leveling just wanted to fly to 85. You didn't care about doing those, so it's going to replace group quests, and it's going to kind of be like these little, not quick time events, I don't know why that's the word popping into my head, but just kind of little instances, like maybe 10 minutes long.
When I hear quick time events, I think of like the Crisis
like
arcade games or God of War. Yeah.
But it's going to be like tiny instances. They're like 10 minutes long, and you play through a little story, and then you're out of them. So those are going to replace that, and I think that's going to be a lot more fun to level. The other change, which I want to talk about, is Pokemon.
So good.
I think it's awesome.
So do I.
At first I was against it, but now I think it's awesome.
What changed your mind on that?
Well, because you can name your pets.
Because it's Pokemon? Yeah.
And I love naming things in World of Warcraft.
Yes, you do.
I used to have a pet stable. I had Patrick Swayze and Hot Pool Boy were my hunter's pets back in the day. And Hot Pool Boy was a Cuban bat. And, he used to clean my pool and then sleep with me. But anyway, basically, your non-combat pets, which people collect religiously in that game anyway, will be able to be renamed, leveled up, and fought against others in teams, and then you can sell them for gold when they are leveled up. So, like, if people are hardcore about this pet arena,
right?
It's Pokemon. It's Pokemon.
Which people will be. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
People.
Oh, dude, it's turn-based combat, just like Pokemon. Everything is like Pokemon. I would be surprised if they don't get sued.
Pokemon was a fucking legit game, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm not saying it wasn't. I just think it's hysterical. They're like...
They're straight up copying it. Yeah.
Because you know there's going to be whole guilds and people that come play the game just to do that. They will not do anything else.
Well, there's not a legitimate Pokemon MMO, I don't think.
No, and this will be. You'll be able to fight in teams and shit. It's going to be nuts.
I bet role playing servers are just gonna they're gonna crash from the traffic.
Gold
all I know is I'm collecting all of the canine pets and naming a character Michael Vick.
That's a good idea.
God.
And that is how I will be playing Pokemon.
All right, so the half of you podcast listeners that are left.
Hope you.
Oh man, Michael Vick jokes are sweet.
They're still good.
Next up though, and also there's pandas and shit in this expansion.
And fucking, I love panda bear. I just love all forms of bears.
Yeah, they're good. And I do like the new class, which is a change of pace from WoW. The Monk is going to be the new class, and it has no auto attack, which is completely
I found that
wacky.
interesting.
Weird.
It's going to have an energy system kind of like Death Knight runes, which will be 3 light orbs and 3 dark orbs. And you have 2 moves that build up energy in the orbs, and then you have moves that will use those. It's almost exactly like a Diablo monk, actually.
I was about to ask you, is that ripped right out of Diablo?
It's a lot like Diablo.
Okay.
But it's going to have no auto attack, and auto attack, for those true WoW nerds out there, such as myself, auto attack has always been the number one source of damage for most melee classes. And it's always been very important with hit caps and all that kind of stuff. So I don't even know how this is going to play out, but I definitely want to play one.
Does this make this more of a skill, like a lot more skill required character to play if there's no auto attack?
I don't know if it's going to be more skill required, or you're just going to have to fucking pay attention.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like it seems like they'll probably be strong in PvP if that's the case, because they're going to have huge burst damage for abilities.
Obviously, it's going to be sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they're going to have to rely on those, and if you miss a jab, or I forget what the other move is, you're going to be kind of fucked for a little bit because you won't have any energy, but...
All that matters is the energy is called chi, and that's fucking legit as hell.
So... there's going to be, it's going to be sweet, I think. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I think it's going to inject a lot of fun back into the game, which is a good thing. So, that's the WoW.
And now they're giving away Diablo 3 with an annual pass.
Oh, man. Brings me into Diablo 3 as well for that news. But, yes, Diablo 3 free with a year of WoW, and you get beta access guaranteed to Mists of Pandaria, and you get a mount.
The mount is one of the coolest mounts in the game, too.
Yep.
Just looking at it looks so good.
Tyrael's.
How much revenue do you think Blizzard's going to recognize this quarter after that announcement?
I know, right? Like, I signed up for it. Why wouldn't I?
So did I.
Already. But, yes, and it gets you what I think will be the game of the year in 2012, which will be Diablo 3 for free. So you'll get that, and not much new information came out about D3, really, except for the end boss is going to be one of the primevals we haven't fought yet, which is Asmodan, and the collector's edition looks amazing, in my opinion. I'm probably still not going to get it. I'm just not the guy who gets those usually, but...
you don't put all that stuff around your desk, all the figurines.
No, I do kind of want the Diablo skull, but I'm not going to...
I bought the collector's edition of World at War because I got a flask with that.
Yes,
so.
legit.
You get a flask?
Yeah, dude, the fucking thing was a flask.
Huh. Okay. It's like, that was the selling point for John. It's got a flask. That's funny.
Then StarCraft 2, Heart of the Swarm preview trailer came out as well, and they introduced 3 new units for each faction, all of which will be balanced for PvP, which is going to be Blizzard. Good luck, bros. But yeah, they're gonna try to do that. Balance is always a tenuous subject with those games, so
yeah.
It'll be interesting to see how they get that, or if it makes it into a competitive at all, or that kind of thing. But
they said they don't have they don't really care to make it competitive. It's just supposed to be like a little game within a game within a game.
Yeah. So micromanagement. So you Koreans, there you go.
So speaking of companies doing things right, this is kind of related. So Blizzard does a lot of things right when it comes to fan service, and then doing things wrong. I posted this article from Arsenica earlier today, but I have to just bring it up again. It's not gaming related, but it's about Netflix, and did we discuss their fuck up once on a podcast? Maybe not.
We might have
bit.
mentioned Quickster.
I feel like we real quick did, and I just have to mention that they have lost 800,000 subscribers since their initial fuck up of raising the price and then changing, what the services would be, the 2 different sites, and then since then having gone back on all of that, and they will now be operating in the red for all of 2012 is probably what's about to happen.
Dude, if they go out of business, I'll be so angry.
I know.
Anything against raising the prices. I would have paid more, but splitting the services was the problem.
Yeah, exactly. And they basically, in a letter to their investors, were like, we fucked up and we didn't realize people would be so mad about it. And that's basically what it says. And the investors are like, okay, well, what does that mean, though, for us? And so anyway, it's just... oh god, dude, I can't. I think we did touch on this. I do remember talking about this a little bit, but like how they're not a gaming company, but like, can you imagine if Blizzard had done something like that, where like they just raised the prices and were like real aloof about it, like split the service? I don't know. I mean, like that's kind of like they're not in the same arena because
it'd be
Blizzard's
like kind of
huge,
be like if Blizzard raised WoW's monthly fee
exactly.
now. Like right when they announced this yearly thing, and then they're like, it's going to be $19 a month now.
Yeah,
like
people would flip out,
dude.
So anyway,
I think it just shows how quickly. I think we talked about this before. How quickly you can fall, even when you have a great reputation with a lot of people,
and especially for like they had no competition as far as that goes. Like Netflix, and they still really don't have any true competition. I think right now, but like the fact that I mean, almost 1 million people were just like peace. That quickly, like how tenuous the market is if you make a mistake. But see, to be fair, Netflix didn't make one mistake; they made like 5 in a row, and then sent out that email. I was saying to someone earlier today. This was a couple weeks ago. I sent out the email basically saying nothing has changed. We just put everything back the way it was, but it's too late.
Yeah.
Anyway, I was just thinking about that when you're talking about Blizzard and all the usual good stuff that they do.
Just got a tweet from a dude.
Yeah.
He's like, be glad you decided not to buy BF3. This is the extent of my experience so far. And it's just a picture of Battlelog, and it just says, sorry, something technical went wrong.
I posted that during the beta. That's pretty much all I got during the beta.
But the third thing with the news here with Blizzard is Blizzard's Dota. Their League of Legends, Heroes of New Earth, Demigod, etc., etc.
Yes.
Blizzard's Dota was playable at this, and it's gonna, to me, this game, it's gonna be free to play with, it's gonna be a standalone game. It's not gonna be a mod anymore, but it's gonna be free to play with Heart of the Swarm, like when it comes out, is what they're saying basically. But I personally think that it's going to be the worst of all those games. Now, this is coming from someone who doesn't play those games, but the only draw when I look at the Blizzard version of this is that it uses Blizzard characters, that it uses Blizzard's properties as the playable characters. For me, though, I mean, if I'm someone who plays League of Legends hardcore, Heroes of New Earth, there's no reason for me to go play Dota, Blizzard's Dota. I don't know. That's just my opinion, but I just don't see it making any sort of dent.
I feel like with Blizzard's Dota, Valve's Dota, League of Legends, and Heroes of New Earth, like you have four games kind of centered around the same concept. Yeah, but like so 4 main ones that I can think of offhand. I mean, how big is the market for that game?
And League of Legends has what, like 9 billion players?
Yeah, it seems like if you're playing that kind of game, you're already playing League of Legends or Heroes of New Earth. I feel like how long until the market is just completely saturated with these Dota type games?
And Dominion's the first real wrinkle that anyone's put in it. Otherwise, they're all the same tower defense game type. There's nothing really. I mean, yes, they've all played differently, but they all are the same game, essentially.
Yeah, I watched the trailer and I was like, all right, it's cool that there's Blizzard characters, but nothing.
I'll play Valve's version if they make it like if all the characters are terrorists and counter-terrorist players, and they have like you can use grenades as your attacks and all that kind of stuff.
Alex will be around for the big daddies.
Yeah, the Bioshock version.
Condition Zero Riot Shield will be in there. Condition Zero Riot Shield guy.
It'd be awesome. That I would play.
And the final news thing here, one thing here, Diablo 3 is going to get Team Arena Deathmatch, which is going to be infinite respawns in a time limit, and you just have to get the most kills, which I think sounds awesome.
Yeah, it does sound. That sounds something like I can actually get a grip on.
And you can actually, the way it read is you can't change your spec when you go in, your talents, but you can go to another character. So if you're like, oh, they got 3 melee guys, you can switch to like your assassin or whatever, or your demon hunter, so you have a ranged person, but you can't switch specs. It's kind of awesome. So
yeah,
all right,
nice. And one other thing real quick, I don't know, did we touch on this? I feel like the podcast, now that we're on 15, I feel like we've touch on some of these topics, but the like as far as Blizzard hitting the console market with an RPG here, like they already have, such a huge following on PC. I can't imagine they're not ever going to delve into.
Well, there's rumors of Diablo port.
Yeah, Diablo 3 is going to get ported, I think.
And what about Titan? Do you think that they'll make that?
Those games are way too large.
Yeah.
Plus, like, patches and content updates and stuff. Like, the only way that those are going to work is if you can cross-platform them, and then that makes it nearly impossible to provide decent service because of the verification process with patches and shit like that.
Gotcha.
A lot of MMO communities are just built around, the text, typing to people, whispers, and all that. I mean, I feel like the ecosystem just doesn't really work on a console.
Yeah, it's just too hard. Especially the patching is exactly the big thing for this.
Right.
Because when something breaks on WoW, if it's critical, they will just take everything down and patch it. Like, they don't let it go. If it's like Thursday, which is not patch day whatsoever, they'll just be like, well, this is super broken, so we're going to either hotfix it or give servers a restart. So,
and they even implemented like technology where they can just fucking patch shit while you're playing too, so...
Yeah, and Diablo 3 will have that, which is amazing. So,
speaking of taking... Oh, sorry.
One second. Diablo 3 will also have an achievement for killing all the bosses in the game with your fists. So I throw that out
Nice.
there. That's extremely difficult for that game. So, all right, go ahead, Scott.
No, I was saying, speaking of taking shit down, talking about expectations getting taken down. With this, this is going to go right into the rant here. Rant of the week! I don't know what we're yelling about! But, oh my god, the Modern Warfare 3 rank system / dedicated server fiasco. Dan, why don't you share our broken hearts?
I'm going to start because I am the staunch Call of Duty supporter.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
And I was really looking forward to Modern Warfare 3. As soon as they said dedicated servers, I was sold. Lean or no lean, anything else, didn't care. Dedi servers, that's all I wanted, and we got them.
Right.
Kinda.
I thought we got them. And then last week they tore my heart out and stomped on it. And then made it confused, because now I don't even know what to think. Because there's cryptic tweets coming. I don't even know what's going on, and bowling and...
Well, do we want to give the background for people real quick if they weren't up on that?
Well, you guys actually, who did Modern Warfare 2 on PC? Because you'll be able to explain this better.
I did.
I don't even know what it's called.
Me and Brandon both did.
So go with it.
It's matchmaking just like the console, except there's more NAT issues with it, and there's rampant cheating because Valve's anti-cheat just doesn't work. And there's no admins when it's matchmaking, so you just kind of shit out of luck if you run into a hacker. You could leave the game, which would seem like it would be the logical solution, but then you'll spend 15 minutes trying to get into another one.
It was
a new system, but
it was awful. I mean, I made a commentary this weekend and touched on this a bit. Modern Warfare 2 was one of the worst multiplayer experiences I've ever had. Because just like John said, you have rampant cheating. I mean, more than, like, you think you've seen cheats in games? No, go play Modern Warfare 2 on the PC. It was literally every 2 or 3 games you would join would have at least one cheater because you couldn't do anything about them. There's no kicking, there's no banning, there's no control of any sort. You're just, it's a free for all. So that it was just an awful experience. And then also you have obviously the host advantage because it's not hosted on a dedicated box. Just so many things wrong with it. And there was a petition that went up that ended up getting like 200,000 signatures on it to tell them to put dedicated servers in Modern Warfare 2. So I think the message was pretty clear that PC players didn't want that. And I guess Activision doesn't really care about that.
That would be what I'm seeing. And then they come out with this tweet the other day, and they're like, to clarify. Now, that was the words where it was like, okay, all right, so we're going to get clarification here.
And they just made it 10 times worse.
Yeah, they made it like 10 times more confusing. Because then they're like, okay, to clarify, unranked dedicated server admins will be able to lock and unlock any weapons or perks, basically, that they want. Now, then immediately, people began asking on the forums on the Call of Duty forums and on Twitter, well, does that mean we don't need to rank up? Do we get like a separate set of shit for dedicated servers of like class setups and stuff? Nobody knows what it means now, and we're not gonna know until the review copies come out from like PC Gamer, which is the only one I'm gonna really trust. But
I trust them because Deus Ex was their #1 game of all time. So pretty much everything they say, I believe.
Well, plus today, Brandon said this.
Every other game sucks.
To side on the PC Gamer thing for a second. Today they put out their not review of BF3 because they were having so many technical problems getting on servers that they did the smart thing. They didn't shit all over the game. They said, we're going to wait until we can actually play it to review it, play it correctly. So that's a lot of integrity from that.
PC Gamer always has been great.
Good job,
I get their hard copy, their magazine every month, and they're always usually on point. I feel the same way you and John feel. Like I always feel like agreeing with them. Like same thing, top games of all time. That whole issue, everything. Oh, God.
I feel like we get too much love in here. We got to get back to ranting.
Yeah, let me rant. IGN's fucking horrible.
Anyway,
there you go.
Yeah, fuck IGN as well. IGN was the Genesis KBMOD part of it.
Yeah, because of how bad it is.
Because I was like, IGN is so friggin' terrible. I need to make my own site with people.
So the thing that I hate the most when I read this post from Robert Bowling is the air, like just the tone that all of these things that the game has are features. Like will we have unique graphic options? And he's like, yes, you'll be able to modify depth of field and anti-aliasing, texture resolution, and more. That is not a feature. That is part of the game.
It's called PC gaming, motherfucker.
Sadly.
Not anymore. Yeah. That's true.
You know what also is a feature? An in-game server browser.
I knew that was coming.
Sorry, but that's never going to get let go.
Yeah, no, that's not that. I mean, I don't know how much I'm going to play Battlefield 3 regardless because of Tribes Ascend and Modern Warfare 3, but I would probably play it more if I could just load it up and go into a server browser.
Yeah, no question, dude.
I mean, Battlelog worked fine for me tonight, but that's because I proxied and got online before everybody else did because I'm an asshole.
People have been yelling at me for like my anti-Battlelog thing. It really does bother me so much that I didn't buy the game. That's how much it bothers me.
Well, in the reviews, it was pretty mixed. I mean, like I think the IGN review, they praised it, and then one of the other ones, they mentioned that it was quite a hassle. That they didn't really care for it. So it definitely seems like people are split on that. But to be fair though, I would rather. If I had to take no in-game server browser and like have Battlelog versus not having graphics options, I feel like those are on a completely different scale.
Yeah.
Because at least I feel they're still trying to improve the game. Even if we don't think it's an improvement, they're trying to push technology forward. Not having a server browser like in a website is technically pretty impressive, even if I don't like it that much. Not having graphics options and this stuff that Infinity Ward is pulling is just, I feel like it's just lazy. Trying to call everything a feature.
It's the tone, dude. It's the tone.
Exactly. Yeah. It's the tone. And we're not smart enough to know that that's just normal stuff that is in a PC game.
But this Call of Duty franchise in particular, since Modern Warfare, I remember this for COD 4.
They think their shit don't stink, my friend.
They have every single time been like, multiplayer is free. That's how they phrase it.
Right.
Call of Duty has done that since Modern Warfare. And it's like, well, no shit, it's free because it came with the game. It's not a feature, you dumb shit. Nobody bought your game.
That's what we're paying for.
Nobody bought your game to play. What? I bought your game for a 7-hour campaign. I paid $60. Are you kidding me?
Production.
Like,
yeah, I agree.
No, I paid $60 to play 400 hours of multiplayer. That's what I paid for.
Yep.
Not like. I mean, it's absolutely. They're the only people who phrase it that way. By the way, with multiplayer, and it's Activision. You're a bunch of dicks. Okay.
Tell me how much this sentence incenses you, like it does me. We value the PC player and have gone to great lengths in providing a more rich experience for our players. let's see, the big feature for Modern Warfare 3 we are supporting is dedicated servers. This includes a server browser, voting, Archon, and more. That's their big feature. They think that is their big feature for Modern Warfare 3.
Oh my god.
How do you go into work every day and actually have that attitude? Like, the big feature for our game is that we're going to have the same server model that's been in every first-person shooter since the dawn of time.
To be fair, though, I'll play devil's advocate and say, to be fair, like in the background, like how, like, we don't know how hard they had to fight for that. Like on the outside, it could seem like, okay, yeah, like like you said, every game, every multiplayer shooter in, you know, in modern history. But like, if there was like 2 or 3 people that were like, Activision was like, nope, don't even bother, and they just fought and fought and fought. I could see that being a victory.
See,
but
Scott, I don't have a problem with that, though. Like, even if they had to fight for it,
right.
I don't like the matchmaking model, but if that's what they want to do, fine. What I don't care for is the fact that they've been screaming that we will have dedicated servers. They never said that it's going to be like a hybrid model, you know, that we're going to have dedicated for unranked. You know, they've known that for a while now, but they've still been garnering all that good press because they're going to have dedicated servers. That's what I don't like, is that it's kind of a lie by omission.
Yep. And my initial thought when they announced that they were going to have both, I was like, oh, well, that's fine. And in my head, I wasn't thinking about IWNet at all, or like host or anything. In my head, I was like, because I wish PC games, had
a party system.
Yeah.
So I was like, when I first saw it, and then John quickly tweeted at me to tell me what the ranked and unranked thing, because that just didn't cross my mind at all. And then I looked at it, and I was like, oh, that's awesome. I can party up with people and we can just stomp people, and it's going to be fun, you know. It'll all be on, you know, a set of dedicated servers, and that's great. Now, to be slightly fair to Infinity Ward in this, we actually don't know how the system's going to work for this.
I think we have a pretty good idea.
I've heard it's a totally different revamped system.
Bowling usually talks to me, and he hasn't been talking to me about this shit, so that kind of scares me.
He's hiding.
It's like, yeah, he's hiding.
He doesn't want to deal with it.
I don't know how you could revamp it. Like, there's no way to revamp matchmaking. Well, they do dedicated. It is what it is.
Yeah, but they do dedicated servers for console now, matchmaking. So.
But you know that if they were doing that, they would have mentioned it in this press release, because they knew the onslaught of bad press.
I can't imagine they wouldn't mention that if they knew that.
If matchmaking was going to include dedicated servers, you know they would have put it in that post.
I don't know. They're kind of retarded.
Yeah, man.
This could be a Netflix issue. This could be a Netflix fuck up.
This could be a Netflix thing. They're going to spin off the unranked and ranked into Quickster.
Dude, that's going to be the new thing. It's like, did you just Netflix the shit out of that? Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's horrible. You can't do that.
Actually, Dan, what you were just saying about the party system, as much as Battlelog is kind of a hassle,
yes.
using it tonight, they actually have kind of implemented a party system for dedicated servers, which is great
too.
Yeah, I think that's a natural evolution forward, is melding kind of the matchmaking stuff with your friends with being able to join a dedicated server.
Right.
Okay, yeah. So, I don't know. That's about all we can really say about it. I'm still buying the game, so I'll let you guys know how it is.
Yeah, let me know.
So, it is not my most look forward to, but I am still looking forward to it more than Battlefield 3. But that is my extreme hatred.
Tribes Ascend. Everything else will be obsolete.
CSGO and Tribes Ascend are the ones I'm really looking for. So.
Okay, well, let's get into... we took quite a bit of time on that, which is good, though. I thought it was a good discussion. Let's go into the round table.
It's time for the KBMOD round table. Get ready to discuss a topic.
Tonight, and we're going to actually, the topic we're going to talk about is piracy and gaming piracy. I guess we could talk about music piracy.
Things that tie into that.
Yes, things that tie into piracy and kind of our opinions on piracy, where we stand on it. Yeah, so that's the.
Well, I'll lead off, because I think kind of the background for sort of this discussion was an article we posted today. Well, we're recording on Monday, so It posted, I guess.
Yeah, it posted
Monday.
But
Yeah.
But it's about Gabe Newell doing kind of I guess it was at a conference, giving some comments about Valve and kind of the price experiments they do and the sales and things. And the article is definitely worth a read, maybe before you listen to this part of the podcast. But he talks about piracy and then talks about free to play, and it was really interesting because when when Steam went into the Russian market, everyone was like, that's not going to work. You can't, there's too much piracy in Russia. That's a stupid idea.
Yep.
And it is known for that, to be fair.
Yeah, I mean, they're known for a lot of piracy there, but then Gabe goes on to say that their Russian market is now one of their largest European markets.
It is the largest European market, he says.
I think second largest behind Germany.
Second largest?
Yeah.
Still, that beats out the UK. And
in terms of dollars, Russia is now their second largest European market. That's pretty incredible, given the amount of piracy that does take place there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And the thing is, the reason he mentions as well, one of them, is something that gamers, I think anyway, have been saying for a while, is that things that encourage piracy, such as what a lot of game companies do, is wait 6 months to put anything out in Russia because, they think it's going to get pirated, and all that does is make the guys in Russia pirate the game from somewhere else
earlier,
so they can play it when it's out. And the other thing that is kind of, in a way, DRM, which is also a thing that has, in my opinion, hurt things and caused more piracy than it's ever, prevented.
Well, I think when you look at Steam, Steam is the perfect example for how to stem piracy, because you've got people, look at the Grand Theft Auto sale over the past few days. How many people probably would have pirated Grand Theft Auto, maybe just to try those texture mods out or just mess around with it?
Yep.
People aren't going to buy that game anymore, but they'll pirate it and play around with it. But when you put it on sale, for $12 for the whole collection,
yep.
People are gonna buy it because it's so much easier to drop a couple bucks on each game than it is to try and find a torrent of it or just do mess with any of that. It makes it so much easier, and that's what he's saying, is that as long as you just give them the service, make it easy for them, and make the value of spending that money higher than the value of trying to pirate it and going through that amount of effort.
Yeah, they had a figure in here which is just staggering, and the guy Gabe was talking to was almost fell out of his chair because he was he was from former Microsoft Games head, the guy who was on the stage with him. And this was all impromptu, by the way. Gabe went on this kind of little tangent, but he said basically they put a game sale out on sale, and then they promoted it. You'll see the pop up when you open Steam for certain sales, and they reduced the price by 75%. Yet what that did was made gross revenue from that game go up by 4,000%. So, yeah. But you got to think, what Brandon's talking about, that Grand Theft Auto. Now, I did manage to not buy it, but, I looked at that because I was in my head, I was Modern Warfare 3 is coming out, Skyrim's coming out, BF3's coming out, all these games, Tribes Ascend beta. I was I'm not going to have time to touch these at all. So I did the frugal thing, even though it was only $12, and didn't buy it. But in my head, I was I'm just going to buy this for the fuck of it. It's $12, and I get 7 games, and I've never played San Andreas, so I was well, maybe I'll just get it to get it. So, and that's what happens and you guys can attest to this, the Christmas and summer sales, man.
Oh, God.
Unbelievable.
You're just oh, that's $2. I'm just going to buy it.
Yep.
I may never touch this, but I'm going to buy it. So
I think, the games, there's a lot of games that I think people will pirate just because maybe they want to try it out, or maybe games that don't have a multiplayer component. I would definitely expect probably to see higher piracy with those types of games.
Right.
That's where I think Gabe's argument rings so true, is that just make it easy for them to get it. Like if you put it on sale, make it easy to download and all that. That's how you get rid of piracy, because like if you see it in a summer sale, you're going to pick it up for $5, and whereas maybe before you weren't really that interested in it, and so you would have maybe pirated it. But sure, you'll drop $5 on it so that you don't have to go through that hassle.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly. And I don't know, like, we were talking about this before the podcast. The game Prune, which was, I believe is how you pronounce it, but it's like kind of a racing, audio surfy type game. One dude coded it, put it out there, and he put it out with the model. And this is the pricing models. Gabe also talks about the pricing models, how they do experiments. They just, throw stuff on the wall and see if it sticks, And they do it all the time, he said. So, but basically, Prune it's an indie game, one developer. He put it out with the pay what you want model, not free to pay, although, you could just download it if you wanted, I believe. But what he saw was that he ended up making like $25,000 off it, which for one guy just doing a game in his spare time, not a bad chunk of change. He said it would average, the people that did pay paid about $5 each. And he was like, that's fine. But what we also noticed was that because it wasn't marketed as free, even though you could have paid a penny, it was on pirate sites, and it got pirated 4 times as much as it sold. This is a game you could have paid a penny for.
Yep.
So it is all about packaging as well, as you were saying, in presentation.
Like the psychology of it, really.
Yeah. When they, and he talks about that in here. I'll read part of the quote here. Valve, when they made TF2 free to play, they said, we're not only going to signal that the game is free, but we're going to say it's free to play, which is not really a pricing signal, even though that's what you would ordinarily think it is. And their user base for TF2 increased by 5 times. 5 times as many people played it.
Yep.
And he said that there was a thing, he said, we made many products available for free on numerous occasions, but it didn't significantly impact the audience size. So just making a game free didn't matter. But when you said this game is free and you can play it for free, people somehow in your head,
trigger something. Yeah.
I think it triggers sort of an implication that there will be support for it. It's not just a free game that's just out there and it's whatever. It's free to play, which I guess kind of in your mind you think, oh, so I can play it for free, but then there's going to be more support and more stuff coming. I thought the incredible thing about what he said there, I mean, TF2 getting 5 times as many people in its user base is pretty remarkable. But I think the more impressive thing is that he said they have a 20 to 30% conversion rate on people playing for free and then buying something. 20 to 30% of people spending something on TF2. That is just that's unheard of.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of it is about how you implement the model, and they did it really well. People don't. There is the whole crafting system and all that in TF2, but that takes time and effort. If I can just go buy the gun for $2,
right?
Why don't I just buy the gun for $2? Especially if you if you're comfortable with a weapon in an FPS, you may want to use it, And now you have they did the thing with the Manco store now, where you can try a weapon out for a week, and for free to see if you like it, and then if you like it, you can buy it. It'll just go away. It'll be out of your inventory after those days, and you have to go buy it. But you can try it out. So. It's like John and Brandon, I remember saying with the Quake rocket launcher, you were like, this just feels better. So if someone feels better with that weapon, then they'll go buy it probably, especially with this now. I mean, I feel like if people are going to try a weapon out in TF2 and enjoy it, they're probably going to be like, it's $2. It's like, a bag of chips.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
I'm eating a bag of chips right now. They're flaming hot munchies.
It comes back, like you said, exactly to the accessibility aspect. If you make it easy for the. I mean, because I just think about, we were talking about our own buying habits. It's exactly what you're describing is exactly what gets me every time. Yeah. It's like, okay, I could go torrent this game and then go through the patch and install you know what I mean? If it's not, it might not be that easy to set up to get working. So if it's multiplayer, forget it. Like you said, single player for sure. But if you're going to dangle a $12 every GTA game in the series, I mean, it's too good.
It's like,
yep.
If you wanted to ever try those games, and you hadn't played one ever, but you'd heard, it's like a big open world and I can blow shit up, fuck it, dude. $12, you can play all of them.
Exactly. I mean, like a perfect example of this is I bought Kane and Lynch 1 and 2. The first one got okay reviews. The second one got horrible reviews, and I knew it. But it didn't matter because it was like $2. It was like $2.99 for both games. So I was like, I don't care. Like, I'll take both of them. So, yeah, just another example. Like, I would never even think about pirating that game, but I would never think of buying that game until Steam Summer Sale. So...
And
I think to meld these two discussions together, I think the piracy and kind of the upcoming free to play trend that we're seeing. I think they're related because the free to play, I think, kind of combines the best of both worlds, where there's very low barrier to entry for people that can't afford to buy games. But for people that do want to spend money, it's kind of like a fast pass. And so the people that don't want to spend money on it will just play to earn what they want, and then the people that don't have the time or whatever, they'll spend money on it. So you don't ever have to worry about piracy because you have kind of the rewards through play and then also rewards through buying. And as long as you implement it right, those can coexist really nicely.
Yeah, its implementation is going to be the big thing with this trend, and it really is a trend now, which is a good thing for PC gaming. Apparently, it's really buffeting the whole market, this free-to-play stuff. Especially shit as sad as it sounds as like Farmville. Like, the way that Farmville has implemented their stuff, I mean, people, it's like crack, man. Like, I've never played it on Facebook, but like with the numbers they're seeing, it's ridiculous. And you see more and more games going in, and I think it's great because now you don't have to sit there and worry about a purchase either. Like Global Agenda,
there's no buyer's remorse.
I'd have never tried Global Agenda if it hadn't gone free to play. And I'm not playing it every day or anything, but it's a fun game. It's well made, and now it's free. So like, if you haven't tried an MMO, it's a good one to try. It's free. Go with it,
And I think the best part of it is that it grows the audience that you're reaching by. I mean, I don't know what the factor would be, but it's got to be huge. I mean, TF2, it grew by 5 times as many players, and TF2 already had a really large player base. That's the crazy thing, is that Team Fortress 2 is a very well-established game that a lot of people have already bought, and they managed to increase by a factor of 5.
Yeah.
So you're talking about like the Farmville games and stuff, which we think are kind of dumb and wouldn't spend time on. But it's the people that play Farmville may also try out a Tribes Ascend or a League of Legends or something, because there's no barrier to entry. It's like, oh, sure, I'll download it and give this a try. And then all of a sudden you've hooked someone into your game that traditionally never would have bought, a $50 game.
Right, exactly. And I don't know if this is kind of a wrap-up or something, but how do you guys feel about, because we haven't really touched about, how do you feel about piracy? Like, what, are you for it or are you against it? Just kind of flat-out question there, I guess. Or does it depend?
Depends on what
you're not going to get arrested, so you can...
It depends on what form of piracy. Like, I am fully supportive of AllPiraWNet.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if somebody releases a half-assed piece of shit product, like they did for Modern Warfare 2, eat my shit. I'm going to play it anyway, and I'm going to play it how I want to play it because that's what I'm paying for. But in your case, I didn't pay anything because you're dumb. Whose fault is it that I would rather go and pirate a game than buy it? Right, I would like to give people my money. If you deserve my money, you're going to get it. But you give me a piece of shit, I'm going to give you shit, which is nothing. And then I'm going to go steal your game, and I'm going to play it, and I'm going to have fun, while your studio probably gets shut down if you're not somebody huge like Infinity Ward.
Yep, and for me, I am actually very staunchly against piracy, and mainly for the sake of PC gaming, really, because that's been the big argument, which I think is and Gabe Newell has pointed out as well, is kind of a bullshit argument. But that's why a lot of these companies, we've talked about, ease of development before, but a lot of these companies have pointed out that it's harder to pirate for console, and that's a lot of the reason. And then you have companies like Ubisoft that are just dumb as bricks and just don't understand anything.
It's been a while since we shit on Ubisoft. What a bunch of fucking failures. I was going to
throw an Ubisoft reference in there because we couldn't get past this.
Well, what's funny with them is that whenever they come out with a game, hackers are like, yes.
Yep.
Yes, we gotta test our metal against this new DRM, and we will break it.
Oh my god, dude!
And you will all have Assassin's Creed for free. And but like, for me, I'm really against it. Like, there was a guy I was telling you guys. There was a guy in my and Guy, if you're listening, fuck you, Guy, because on my Hard Reset is made by a small studio. They built their engine from scratch. It's a great game.
Looks amazing, dude.
It looks fantastic.
Yeah.
It's $29, okay, and you're probably going to get 10 hours out of it, especially if you try it on ultra or something, or the hardest difficulty. It's difficult anyway. And he's like, "Oh man, this game looks really good. It reminds me of blah 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 blah. Time to go to Pirate Bay." And I was just like, "Dude, if you pirated a $29 game, kill yourself. Seriously, just kill yourself, because you are worthless and you are part of the problem." I don't see piracy as big of an issue as the companies do, but I still see where that's what they point out. So if that's their mindset, that needs to stop in order for us to get better stuff, essentially, and less DRM, And Hard Reset, those guys, the developer of that game, came out and said, I hate playing games with DRM, so there will be no DRM on my game. He came out and said that. So when you see a guy develop exclusively for your platform,
and then you still steal his game.
Yeah, dude, fuck you.
Heartless.
Fuck you, Guy, on my video.
You want to go get his username real quick? No, I'm just kidding. Don't.
Yeah, I'm definitely with you, Dan. I'm definitely against it. When we were talking about this a little earlier, we were saying, like, have we ever pirated a game or something? I actually don't know that I've ever pirated a game. But luckily, I've been in the fortunate position that I can buy the games that I want. So I'm not going to to look down upon someone who maybe doesn't have the money and wants to buy a game. Whatever your moral outlook on that is whatever. But there are some people that do want to play games and can't afford it. And if you want to pirate it, that's your business. If you weren't going to buy the game anyway, it's not a lost sale. So that kind of stuff gets complicated, but I think when you're talking about PC gaming, that's the number one thing that developers cite if they're either going to focus on consoles, exclusively, or do console porting or that kind of stuff. That's always the number one reason is because of the piracy, and then our audience the PC audience is already smaller, so I think that's why we've seen so many companies shift to doing console ports, because when they're doing their projections, they've got to account for piracy somehow, and unfortunately, we end up being the ones that lose out. So
Brandon yelled at me because I stole Display Fusion yesterday to try it. It'll make you feel better that I bought it today, Brandon.
It does make me feel better. You got to support the people.
See, that's the other thing about piracy, though. Not even
I pirated Dead Space 2 when it first came out because I never played the first one, and then I bought it.
Yep.
And then Alex gave me a second copy because my Steam version doesn't work. So now I have 2 copies of Dead Space 2 because the Steam version just doesn't work and it doesn't say I own it anymore. But it's a good game, so I would have bought it twice.
Yeah, piracy gets into a lot of gray areas morally with people, too.
I totally agree with what John was saying earlier. Like, to me, like, I agree, too. Same thing. I don't think I've ever pirated a game minus, like, kind of the Ultra IW stuff, and that was in the gray area where I don't think that's...
I used to pirate the NHL games like mad for PC when they were on PC. Because I saw no reason I should be paying $60 a year. But
dude, it's in the game. If it's in the game, it's in the game. Dan.
Fuck you, EA, as well.
Yeah. While we're handing out fuck yous handily. Fuck you, EA. No, but yeah, like, if you... Exactly, like with Modern Warfare 2 would be a perfect example. If you release a horrible fucking game, I pay the money for it, or I hear that people are paying the money for it and getting ripped off, I am going to, and I want to play the game. If it's heavily altered and I mean, a lot of work. Let's face it. Like, how much fucking man hours and work went into Alter IW? I mean, I can't even fathom. I mean,
they patch it.
They patch it all the time.
They're working on new maps for that,
and they're not making shit.
Exactly. They're doing it because they love it. So, I totally agree in that sense. It kind of like there is a Robin Hood clause in my piracy thing where it's like, if you are going to fuck over the consumer, then in certain instances I totally agree that, you know, Alter IW and stuff like that should exist to
all
keep...
Ubisoft titles should be pirated.
Yeah, I have no problem with that because oh man, we're never gonna get anywhere.
They just don't get it, man. They just don't get it.
They're dumb. And as a perfect example, Fuzzy Otterballs left the company, so you know they're really fucking. He was like, "That's not why I left."
I asked him if there was DRM keeping in his office.
I saw that tweet.
I think if you are going to pirate games, if you play one that you end up really enjoying, just buy it.
Yeah,
I mean,
like
you can still make up for your karma loss if you buy the game after the fact.
I always, whenever I would pirate back in the day, like in college when I didn't have much money, there was always something wrong, you know, like after I would patch it or like it would crash at like a certain spot, and then I would just be like, oh fuck, why didn't I just buy this?
Guess what? There's no support bros if you pirate the game and it doesn't work.
Like, why didn't I just buy this? It would have been better. So yeah, it was good. It was a good discussion.
That's good. Yeah. All right. So I think we can all just fuck Ubisoft.
That's a pretty hot topic. So yeah, seriously though, Ubisoft, you're doing it wrong.
You really are.
Worst.
Oh man, that feels good. It's been a long time.
It does feel good.
For like 4 weeks in a row on the podcast earlier, I think we talked about how bad Ubisoft was. So it feels good to get back to that.
From Dust came out.
Oh yeah, exactly. All right, the Twitter Q&A, let's get into that.
And now it's time for Twitter questions with the KBMOD podcast.
Here, then we'll close out.
We got a lot of quick ones. Yeah, what's our time looking like?
I'd say we got about 15 minutes we can work with here.
Here we go. For bros who played WoW and may remember this, this is from Lol Joe. It's what was your best or favorite quest line in WoW? And I know mine right away. It's the Hunter Epic Bow quest, which it can't be done anymore because Onyxia doesn't exist.
Oh yeah.
So, but that is
Wrathgate probably.
Ooh, that's a good one as well. Wrathgate's good.
This is favorite or worst? This is favorite, right? You just said
favorite or best favorite. Yeah.
My most memorable for me when I was a human warrior was killing these annoying ass mechanical scarecrows in fucking
Westfall.
That was the worst. That was one of the most annoying quests in the world. They make annoying noises and like, and then they smoke. You guys know what I'm talking about. God, that was horrible.
I do know what you're talking about.
John came with his fucking flying mount and stuff, and I remember, I think that's when he gave me like a bunch of gold in Westfall, so that's what made it a little better. But
gold that you still have on your character.
I do.
Better reactivate your account and get that back, thanks.
Yeah, I should do that. I forgot about that.
All right, we're going to continue with the WoW theme here from Mr. Xpups, our bro Drew. If you could remake one old world dungeon into a heroic, what would it be? And I know this one right away, too. UBRS. UBRS heroic would be hilarious, and it should be a 15-man raid for no reason.
Yeah, because he used to do it with like 40 people and shit.
Yeah. That's why. That shit was epic, dude. I want to kite Drakasith again.
I was going to say, yeah, I would say UBRS just because I want to see how the Drakasith would work.
You guys are over my head. I don't. What level was that?
That's like 60.
60? Yeah.
It was a classic dungeon, but what happened was WoW originally had a level 40 cap, and the Scarlet Monastery ones were the end. And then it went up, and then Blackrock Depths, which is like 9 hours long at level, was like kind of the end game, and you could raid it with 10 people originally. And then UBRS came out, and it was a 15-man raid, but it was like a 5-man. So but it was really long too. But it was just so. That's where you used to take people when they applied to your guild. You would take them through UBRS to see
how they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's where Leroy Jenkins took place.
It is Leroy Jenkins.
Okay. All right.
Yep. Nice. Popped all the eggs, that fucker. Wiped it out.
Still like the most viewed gaming video on YouTube.
Yep.
That's why we can't have nice things.
Exactly. All right, and this next one's another. I got lots of quick ones here. I did that on purpose because I thought the discussions would take up a lot, and they did.
Yeah.
What virus software do you guys use?
Microsoft Security Essentials.
Boom. Yep.
All four of us.
Else.
You guys have converted me as well. That's it.
If you pay for antivirus on your home computer, you're doing it wrong.
Yep, exactly. And Microsoft Security Essentials, I thought it was a joke when I read about it. It's not. It's not intrusive at all. I don't even know it's running 90% of the time.
Like you said, Dan,
your scan to utilize like 5% CPU, so you could scan when you're doing whatever you want.
Yep.
And you don't notice it at all.
it is so boss. I never get pop-ups. It updates. It scans overnight. Like you said, Dan, I don't even know it's here. Yep. I went and installed that in all my like on my parents' computers, my brother's.
And I tend not to do activities that get me, such as pirating games.
That's true.
Viruses. So it hasn't really warned me of anything, but I highly doubt
the bestiality porn you've been getting into, though, does.
Well, yeah.
Is a little hairy.
The goat sites tend to be
pun intended.
Really just
Yeah.
full of stuff. And
M16's overpowered in BF3.
What are you raping with it?
You
No, I'm
destroy
getting
it?
raped.
Microsoft Security Essentials not going to solve that.
Yeah,
You know
I can't
what?
help
It does. Open up a security essential. See what it does with that nerfing.
Quick scan your BF3 folder.
I don't think Battlelog's a virus.
It has a button actually in the program that says Nerf M16 in Battlefield 3. All right.
Patched in today. All right, now we have this is from Joe Swagwalker, and this is a tough question. Would you rather get punched in the dick by Muhammad Ali in his prime, or have sex with Snooki?
Have sex with Snooki.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Snooki as
not
well.
that hard.
Because at least that was
Snooki.
At least you're getting a nut.
At
Yeah.
least the pain isn't all up front with that one.
Yeah.
Totally
It's
agree.
just that herpes trip to the doctor later.
Now, if he had said have sex with Snooki with no protection,
Oh, that's true. He didn't
he didn't say that, so you might, who knows what you're going to catch. So that would make it a little more dangerous, but I'd probably still go with that.
All right, another quick one. As I said, these are going to be going through. How does the bro pile take their coffee? And that's from Zulu Fox 1911.
I'm allergic to caffeine.
Oh yeah, John's in that.
But I like my coffee like my woman, covered in bees.
Oh my god.
I like my coffee. I like it black.
I like it like my
straight
men
black.
black,
Yeah,
yep.
I don't want cream or sugar in it.
Actually, really, the only way I'll drink coffee is like with a lot of cream and sugar, like more than most people think is adequate. But I don't
actually
drink it all that
do
much.
espresso most of the time.
It's bad. I'm telling you, dude. Coffee's best when it's covered with bees.
I'm not a big hot coffee drinker, but I like iced coffee a lot. But I'll drink straight black iced coffee.
Pussy.
No. The heat is
you
the
don't want
determinant.
Heat. Yeah, you don't want a hot drink.
The bees will cool it down.
All right, this is another probably quick one. What game, and this doesn't specify PC or console, and we may have answered this somewhat before, but we'll ask it again. This is from Voltages. What game in your whole gaming career have you put the most hours into?
World of Warcraft.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah, World of Warcraft.
I don't know, actually, World of Warcraft probably the most, but Star Wars Galaxies got up there for a while.
I remember on X-Fire at some point, World of Warcraft had... It was absurd.
My slashed played on World of Warcraft made me shed a tear.
Can you guys recall? Like, I mean, you're not
Man,
now,
okay. If I logged into my Hunter right now...
Yeah.
He'd have 200 days from 1 year due to 6 hours of PvP grinding, or 6 months of PvP grinding.
Wow.
No, one time, at one point, my Hunter was online 24 hours a day for 2 months. No joke.
Wow.
Because John would play him when I was asleep.
Yeah, I remember that.
And you know how I stayed up during that? Coffee covered in bees.
I'm actually going to my Hunter right now. I don't even know what realm he's on.
I gotta check. Yeah.
Because I really want to see this, actually. There he is. He has no gear on, which is interesting. Probably after I got hacked.
I have 70. Actually, it's not as many as I thought. I have 70 days played in Counter-Strike equivalent. 1,679 hours in source.
This is going to be disgusting, my Hunter. If you added all my characters together, it's thousands and thousands and thousands.
Yeah, I remember on my Rogue several years ago, I looked and it was like 180 played, and that was for a single character.
This was at one point my most played character. I think it probably still is. Total time played on my hunter, 149 days.
Wow.
That's one character.
I love these Call of Duty console kids that are like, oh my god, I have 10 days played. I have 20 days played in the game. It's like, get real.
Yeah, you don't know dedication until you play World of Warcraft.
Outside of WoW, though, it's Final Fantasy VII. I maxed out the 99-hour counter a few times on that game.
Wow.
But,
nice.
All right, here's another question. Someone else answer this first. If you had to pick one retro game to play for the rest of your life, what would it be? I think John's answer is pretty obvious on this one.
Wait, what qualifies as retro?
Well, I mean,
not current.
Deus Ex definitely would for John. So
Jedi Power Battles on PlayStation 1 for the rest of my life.
Oh my god, this is so sad. My Rogue has more days than my Hunter.
Wow.
Yeah.
What is it? What is your
151 for my Rogue?
Wow, dude.
And those are ahead by like a massive amount. I know that for sure because those were my two like main characters. So
yeah. What was the question? My internet must have cut out.
Oh, the newest question? Oh,
yeah.
What if you had to pick one retro game to play for the rest of your life? Pretty sure yours is going to be
Deus Ex.
Yeah. Exactly. I would go with Enemy Territory, and this is saying it still.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I changed my answer. I would go with ET as well.
So, yep, that would be my choice. And then Jedi Power Battle.
Over and over, killing Darth Maul with that blaster.
Darth Maul
every time, every day. I still dream about that.
All right, this one's for us. All right, you have to pick two people.
Okay.
Who would you want to be in a human centipede with?
Oh man, two people. This can be anyone in the world, right?
Two. So this may not be someone. Either you want companionship from people you like, or you're like, I don't like these people, so I'm going to shit in their mouths. It's your other option.
In that case, Justine right behind me, and then Brittany Louise Taylor behind me. That's
still my answer, Scott.
Yeah.
If I'm the front, then absolutely.
I too would put Justine behind me.
Nice.
But I would have fuzzy otter balls behind her.
Oh god.
That's a strong question.
I'd love to make him have sex with her. Why power? As she calls it.
Roar, 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 roar.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
Console roar, 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 roar.
Who do I really hate? Trying to think. Well, Justine would be up there because, good lord, she's just pretty universally panned on this podcast.
Yep.
It sucks that she lives near us.
I wonder how much time played she has on Portal 2.
Probably more than
8 hours for the campaign.
She's 150 on the first.
She'd be in there, and the dude, CEO of Ubisoft, he's third.
Who would be the second one?
Justine.
Okay.
Both shitting into the CEO of Ubisoft.
How do you like your DRM now? Nice.
No DRM can stop this.
It's going right in your mouth. Oh, God.
All right. And the final question, which I have a different answer maybe. This will be the final question. Modern Warfare 3 or Battlefield 3, with all this advertising and pitting them against each other, even though they have no place against each other, really, which one will last longer?
Modern Warfare 3 will last until the next Call of Duty, and Battlefield 3 will last until the next Battlefield, which will be a lot longer of a time frame. So
I'm going to go with Counter-Strike Source.
Strong.
Bioshock.
Competitive Bioshock scene.
God, what a thriving scene. Did you watch the ESWC finals for that?
Ooh, dude. I was at MLG legit. Shit right there.
Ken Levine won the entire tournament. Shocking.
Shockingly, Ken Levine.
No, but a serious answer is Call of Duty. I think.
No, Battlefield 3 is going to last longer.
If you have to pick one, it's going to be Battlefield 3 because Battlefield 4 isn't going to be out for a while.
Yeah, you're right. Okay, so yeah, your argument is until
kills
the next
their
Call
own
of Duty.
games.
Yeah, they do. You're right on the development cycle. Yeah. for sure.
Like, you ever think anyone's going to play Black Ops again after this? No.
I can't believe anybody played Black Ops.
Yeah, no, people will tweet about how they're done with Modern Warfare 3 and going back to Black Ops, and I'm just going to unfollow them. Because everyone I follow just tweets about Call of Duty on console all day.
Yep.
So, anyway, that's my own fault. But.
That's all she wrote.
All right, guys.
Covering bees.
Oh, let me talk real quick. I don't know what our time's at. We're probably really close now, but KBMOD 2.0.
Oh my God!
Had many tweets today. Showed the guys the new site today. Looking hot. Sean, you're the man.
I was jizzing over it earlier before the cast.
Yeah, it's looking really hot, and there is a forum. People ask. I actually had tons of Twitter questions about it, so I'm kind of answering them all right now. There is a forum, so yeah, you will be able to converse with others on everything and ask John. John has his own forum for hardware help.
Oh, God.
Go in at your own risk. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, pro tip. Don't go in there for actual help.
And don't get mad at us when he just absolutely
I might
verbally
actually
shits
help
on you.
It depends on the day.
No, it also depends on the phrasing of the question.
It's Russian roulette. You don't know what you're going to get in there.
If you've ever been on the Elitist Jerks forums, you'll know what you're in for. All I'm saying. All right, guys.
All right.
See you next week.
We'll see you guys next week.
One final reminder.
Yep.
If for some reason Podbean and iTunes don't work, use the MediaFire link.
Which will there's
Seriously.
always a MediaFire.
If it doesn't work, just use the MediaFire link. Seriously. Don't tweet at us because I can't.
100,000 times. Yeah, exactly. All right, guys. See ya.
Later.
Hello, gents, and thanks once again for tuning into the podcast this week. If you need to find the podcast, you can find it on podbean.com, our front page, or search iTunes for KBMOD. If you need your PC gaming fix during the week, you can go to kbmod.com or follow us on Twitter at KBMODgaming. We'll see you next week, guys.